Um, the concept I wanted to talk about today was the idea of easy to vary. And easy to vary, that phrase specifically comes from a scientist named David Deutsch, who's arguably like one of the smartest people currently alive and like a modern day Einstein. He's the one who basically invented quantum computing, but he wrote this book called The Beginning of Infinity. And in it, in the first couple of chapters, he talks about the idea of easy to vary, basically good explanations. And he defines a good explanation as specific, creative, and hard to vary. And vary means like, is this explanation easy to change, right? So a good example for that would be like if I eat an apple and I start coughing after eating that apple, one explanation could be I am allergic to apples. But that explanation is very easy to vary. It could just be that a part of the apple got stuck in my throat and it made me cough. Another example is I could just be sick, right? So the easier something is to vary, there's a really good chance that that explanation is not a good explanation. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because this is honestly like one of the most fundamental, simple things that has changed the quality of my thinking and my life. Um, the reason for that is a couple of reasons. One, it's a really good heuristic or rule of thumb that helps me understand if an explanation is good, you know, or yeah, if it's a good explanation, either someone else's explanation for something or an explanation for myself. So if someone tells me something and it sounds like an explanation and I can vary it, meaning I can find different reasons or different ways that you can make that statement, right? That still fits the context of that thing, then I kind of rule that out as a good explanation. And like the apple thing, right? If someone tells me like, "Oh, this guy's allergic to apples," right? Like, well, it could be, but it could be also this other reason, right? Maybe he's just like actually sick, you know, or he had something stuck in his throat, or he just felt like coughing, right? It could be so many other reasons. And it's a really good way to spot bullshit or if somebody actually understands the thing that they're talking about. And yeah, but the thing is, so one of the like caveats you have to try to keep in mind with easy to vary is context, right? You can make something that's super, super hard to vary, right? But it also should be specific to that context, right? If you make something that's really, really hard to vary, it might just be because it has way too many conditions, right? Like, oh, um, I don't know. Actually, I can't even think of an example, but there's so many specific examples for Apex. You might say that, like, oh, Gibby is a good character, but it requires too many. If you say, like, Gibby is a good character for our team, that might be, like, true in some cases, but it's actually incomplete, right? And a way to try to figure that out is okay, what conditions does it take to for Gibby to be good for our team? It's like, okay, it has to be early in the ban system, right? It has to be from this specific map, from this specific POI, and maybe we have to have ring console, right? If there's way too many conditions and way too many, yeah, if there's way too many conditions for that explanation to be true, right? Then that's not a good explanation as well. It is really hard to vary, but it's not specific to the context, right? Of oh, Gibby is good. In fact, he's actually that's a bad explanation, like because there are too many conditions for that thing to not be true. It is easy to vary. So even then, it circles back to being easy to vary. How is this like applied to things outside of Apex? Applied to things outside of science? One helps you identify bad explanations and quite often bullshit, and also people's ability to reason, right? It gives you a really good idea like, okay, this person doesn't really know what they're talking about. And also this person like seems to jump to conclusions about things, right? So if somebody makes a statement about something, it's usually and you know that it's like not true, or there could be other possibilities, but they 100% believe that that's the case. Then that means like that person might have a habit of excuse me, jumping to conclusions about something. And I guess in another video, I'll talk more about like uncertainty and like kind of embracing uncertainty when it comes to knowledge work and just like decision making in general. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to leave it there. Like, are your statements easy to vary? Is this true? You can even apply it to psychology and about yourself, right? Oh, I'm a piece of shit. Oh, I am not um I don't work hard at anything. I don't know how to work hard. Is that true though? Like if you apply it to Apex, I've talked to many people in Apex who work really hard in Apex to get to Predator, to get to Pro League, to improve their aim. That's hard work. But they aren't able to apply that kind of work ethic to things outside of themselves. So it might be more accurate to say they don't have a history of working hard at things outside of video games. But how is that knowledge useful? Like, okay, well, you know that there are certain things in video games that incentivize you and trigger parts of your identity to work hard, right? It might be something bad, it might be something good, but that might be a jumping off point. So easy to vary or hard to vary explanations, right, can really help you figure out and get more information about something. It's a good diagnostic tool. So if we go back to the whole like, oh, I don't work hard at anything, well, if you work hard at video games and you know how to work hard at something, you know how to put time into something, you know how to think about something critically so that way you can improve at that skill. So you have that skill and you have a history of showing that. It's just that you don't apply it to real life. And then you can start digging into, okay, what is it that I'm doing in video games and what is it about video games that real life doesn't have, right? And how can I apply that or manufacture that or replicate that into real life? So that way I don't have to learn a whole new skill from scratch because you don't need to, right? So again, easy to vary or hard to vary. Is this explanation easy to vary? And then it is just a tool to help you figure out what is true and what isn't true. And yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on that. Hopefully that helps.